Good morning, friends. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. Let's get Instagram up and running. Here it comes. There we are. It's got the link now. Have you ever walked into something you used to do all the time and suddenly felt rusty? That's exactly what happened to me yesterday walking into an audition room. Good morning. This is the Daily, the morning report from the Working Actor NYC. This is your spot for real life stories. We have got strategies. We've got for you on your working on your acting career. Let me know where you are and what you're working on in your acting career today. It is Tuesday, July 28th. The year is just marching away. And it is summer here in New York City. Yeah, so yesterday reminded me that auditioning is a skill, not acting, auditioning. I shared yesterday that I had this in-person audition yesterday afternoon. And in preparation for that, I realized that my singing voice is a little out of shape. This is for a musical, which was my bread and butter has been my bread and butter for years. And in preparation for this musical audition, I was like, oh, I haven't been singing very much for the last 6 months because I've been spending this time focusing on TV and film and doing a lot of self-tapes, especially for TV and film. Hey, Not Nadal, this is the Daily from the morning report from the Working Actor NYC. Welcome. Let me know what you're working on in your acting career today. And I also have, I also start rehearsals for a new musical in under a month now. And we're going to be at the McCarter Theater in Princeton, New Jersey. So I'm super excited about that. But I'm just aware that I have not been singing very much for the last 6 months. And my voice is a little out of shape. So I've got to, start practicing every day just to get my voice back into shape. The audition yesterday, thankfully, my voice sounded fine. But as I was in the room and sort of reflecting on it afterwards, I realized that I've gotten rusty at simply being in the audition room. I mean, so much of the in-person auditions have been replaced by self-tapes, and I have another one of those to do this week, so I've got to make sure I get that on the schedule too. But it's let me know if you've experienced this, that all of a sudden you have an in-person audition and there's a part of your brain that goes like, we haven't done this for a while. Wait, how does this go? And I'm talking about that specific thing of, you get to the space, you sign up, you've got, hey, KGM, how are you doing? This is the Daily, the morning report from the Working Actor NYC. Yeah, but the audition, you get there, you sign in, there are other actors there who you may or may not know. And in this case, I did know who was there. I know the casting director well, I regard this casting director as a friend. And I also knew the artistic director of the theater. So I knew that there were going to be people inside the room that I was familiar with, but it's also, the entire experience, getting to the audition space, getting to meet the other actors who are auditioning for the same show. And then when you chat with the casting director outside of the room, and thankfully, like I say, it's somebody that I knew, so I was able to, have fun with that. And she was actually planning a surprise for me, because the music director, when I got the audition, the music director had been to be determined, had yet to be announced. And she was trying to surprise me because it was actually somebody that she and I had worked with 25 years ago, ages and ages ago. And I had not seen her since. And so that music director is now the music director of this show. But she wasn't well, so she wasn't there. But the casting director was really looking forward to surprising me with with this person being the music director. So that's outside of the room. Then you walk into the room and you have to sort of try and build rapport with the people behind the table. And, there are lots of ways to do that, but it's just reading the room, having conversations. I like to actually acknowledge the people that I have met and then acknowledge whether there's people that I haven't met before. And in this case, the director was somebody that, hi, Arlen Guapa from the Philippines. Welcome. Thanks for being here. And so I just like to acknowledge whether I've met someone or not before. And in this case, the director I wanted to meet. And so just that audition mode of walking into a room of people you either know or don't know, building rapport so that you can create an environment where you feel safe to present the work that you've prepared. And I would love to come to. I was nearly in the Philippines right now. Um, where you feel safe to present what you've prepared, whether it's correct or not, whether it's what they're looking for or not, but you just feel safe to show what you've worked on. And those are all separate skills, and in a self-tape scenario, they do not get exercised. And so that's what being rusty actually felt like and looked like to me. Arlen, I had a interest and availability check from a show that is currently in the Philippines, and unfortunately, I couldn't make it work with my schedule. But yeah, I was nearly in Manila uh, for the month, and I'm ashamed that it couldn't. I'm ashamed it couldn't get it all to fit all the pieces because I would love to come to Manila. I've never been to the Philippines before. I've worked in Indonesia. I've worked in Singapore. I've had vacations in Singapore and Malaysia, Thailand, India, all over Asia, but I still haven't made it to the Philippines. So one of these days I'll get there. Hi, Om Anton. Greetings from Indonesia. I have worked in Jakarta, though. That traffic is crazy, but it was a fun job. I love experiencing new cultures and food adventures. Great place for food adventures. So yeah, this audition that I had yesterday and feeling rusty about the audition process, what changed for me was that I knew two people behind the table. I knew the casting director, and it's coffee time, Tians. I knew the casting director very well, and I have worked with the artistic director before of this theater at a different theater. And it was just a really nice chance to be able to relax and have a laugh and tell a quick story and feel human. And I think all of that helps to build an environment of rapport, particularly when the director is somebody that I haven't worked with before. So it's somebody that I needed to build a relationship with, or I'm looking to build a relationship with. And I mean, you know, yes, I guess in a way that is networking, but doesn't feel like networking. Hey, Spooky Dog Dance, thanks for being here. Good to see you. It's simply about being another human in the room, in the audition room, and talking to another human and trying to, that's the difference between going in with your mind focused on networking as opposed to your mind going in focused on being a human who wants to meet another human. Of course, the artistic director is the last time I worked with the artistic director, we burned his house down. Not literally. A group of us went over to his place, and we decided to heat up a frozen pizza in his oven, and unfortunately his oven caught fire. And rather than burn the house down, he decided to use the fire extinguisher. I don't know if you've ever used a fire extinguisher, but they make a big mess. And he ended up having to renovate his entire kitchen. So yeah, the experience was that we went over to heat up a frozen pizza, and he ended up having to renovate his entire kitchen. But being able to tell a story like that. Hi, Rachel. Thanks for being here. Amda Nahadi. Ziggy Nicholson says, I'm typically an outgoing person, but for some reason, intentional networking is hard for me. I have talked about this a lot, Ziggy. I am right there with you. I believe there's a new term for it. There are introverts and extroverts and ambiverts. I believe that's where I fit, because I can be extroverted in certain situations, and then in other situations I can sort of retreat and want to be, and not be that person. And intentional networking, I think, I think that's where I realized that it was like using that sort of a terminology was kind of a trap for me. And I had to focus very much more on, rather than being intentionally networking with somebody, I just had to practice the skills of really listening and making it about the other person, so that I was, and being genuinely curious in that regard. So if you're going to one of those casting director workshops, for me, it was very much about finding out specifically what it is that they enjoy, what it is about, whether it's about an actor's performance, whether it's about an audition, whether it's about whether it's about a project. Um, so it sort of takes the focus off intentional networking, as you put it, and putting the focus onto where are the things where I feel comfortable with this person? Where's the common ground for us? And what is it about this person that interests me? And it puts the focus off of me and puts the focus onto them. And I enjoy that way more. I find it way easier to build a relationship, to build a conversation that way. I had the emergency force suppression in a commercial kitchen golf. That sounds terrifying, Protopoly. Absolutely terrifying. Ziggy, yeah, I think fit right there in the middle too. It's interesting the way it comes and goes. But yeah, I believe ambivert is now the terminology for that, and that's what feels correct to me. Every day somebody shows up and asks me about whether it's Messi or Ronaldo. It's so making it about the other person. That's right. That's right. And it is that genuine curiosity. And I'm not faking that, because if I'm genuinely curious about the other person, it takes the attention off of me, and I'm so much more comfortable. And it's not that I'm uncomfortable being in the spotlight, but it's something about that networking situation where you're trying to thread the needle, or find the balance, is probably a better term, of let me be interesting and interested, but not be the sole focus of attention. And it does feel like threading the needle. And so I find that's the sweet spot for me, is being genuinely curious. MM3 is trying to get me to say something. I do not know the meaning of that word. Yeah, so this is what I was kind of, talking about, exactly what I was talking about with this audition experience yesterday. Relationships aren't built by trying to impress people. You're just trying to build a conversation in the moment, and in a way that shows that you're both humans in the situation. So that's sort of what I felt like yesterday. And the other thing I sort of learned, hey friends, this is the morning report from the Working Actor NYC. Just checking in on my other channels. Good morning. Lean is here. Devyong, hi. Willy Billy, hi. Thanks for being here. I appreciate your support. But yeah, the other thing about in-person auditions is that, there's the moments outside of the room where you're in the waiting room or the hallway or whatever it is, and you're seeing the other actors who you may or may not know. And thankfully, yesterday, there were two familiar faces. There are two colleagues who I really enjoy. J.D. Webster and Anthony Wayne were both there. So it was a nice chance to sort of just chat. I can't chat too much before an audition, because I do have to concentrate. a little bit and chatting afterwards. That is the community that we're all a part of, right? Oh, Bill, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And that, no, acknowledging being part of that community reduces the fear of whether insecurity creeps up as part of the audition process. Speaking of insecurity, Ether, what's your biggest insecurity? I think what I have struggled with and what I am getting better at is how I look. As an actor, I'm trying to put myself out there in the world. I'm trying to be visible. And there's a certain amount of comparison that goes with that. And I could see that guys who are much better looking than me were getting further faster. And so I think my insecurity has always been around my looks. And it's taken me, and it's something that I guess still pops up every now and again. But I have realized that there is a place for me in the industry. And it's true for everyone, every one of you watching, there is a place for you in this industry. The industry is big enough for all of us. And so whether I have insecurity about my looks or not, it's there is work there to be had. There are jobs there to be had. And so, yeah, I think, does that resonate with people? And then it's funny that, the next person says, "Hey, Justin, thanks for being back." Uh, funeral services trying to sell something. I did not hear that song. You'll have to sing it for me and send me a recording of the song of you singing it. So this whole audition, hi, Anastabo 477. Thanks for being here. The wonderful thing about, walking into an in-person audition and feeling rusty is that those skills come back faster than you built them in the first place. You know what I mean? Yesterday was proof of that. And I just sort of have to lock that into my evidence file, that, within a few minutes of being there, I was chatting with people. We were laughing, we were telling stories, we were connecting, and yes, I was auditioning. So, Ziggy recognizes this. Yes, I struggle with the look things and height, 6'3" woman. I'm scared people wouldn't book me. It's interesting. There is room for all of us. I have a female friend who is also tall, and in one environment that can be a really fun, useful way to be specific. When we talk about actors and the casting process, we're interested in how can we be the specific solution to the problem that casting is trying to solve. And one acquaintance that I have found that being tall was really useful in the musical theater world, because there was often room for some sort of comedic interest in there being a variety in heights. So that made her feel like there was room for her in the casting process. Another friend of mine was more focused on TV and film, and being a tall female, she felt she would still occasionally book, but she had one scene where it was before he became super famous, Rami Malek. She was doing a scene with Rami Malek. She was the nurse in the operating room, and he was the doctor. And so they were shooting this scene, and she's a tall lady, and he is not a tall man. I don't know if you know this, but I think he's 5'7" or 5'8". Hi, Faiza. Thanks for being here. Absolutely, Anna Gigi. I am down with that. I support that sentiment. Trans lives do matter. And every time they would hit action on the scene, Rami Malek would stand on tiptoes so that he didn't look so short next to my friend who is tall. So there is room for people of all heights, but I get it, how you feel as though your height is a question for you. about whether or not that's going to help you be the solution to the casting problem. That's also, it's always what I'm focused on with helping my coaching clients, is helping them to focus on being the solution to the casting problem. So let me know what you guys think. What skills have you realized have gotten rusty? Or let me know if you've had in-person auditions, how that felt when we've all gotten so used to the self-tape process. Do you like it? So here's a question for you. For in-person auditions, do you like it when there's somebody in the room that you know, or does that make you feel self-conscious when you have someone in the room that you know? Is there another part of auditioning that you feel like is actually a skill that needs practicing? Let me know what you think. What book or movie changed the way you think? That's an easy answer. There's a book. Oh, it's in the shelves behind me somewhere. You see all those shelves over there? We got a lot of shelves. A lot of books. But the book that I come back to time and time again is The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And it's a workbook for creativity. And Julia Cameron taught creativity and is an author, and so does a lot of writing. And so specifically, that her exercises started as about being a writer, but they are applicable to actors, to musicians, to dancers. It's all about exercising your creativity, and I love that. I go back to that a lot. Ziggy says, I think an in-person audition would give me anxiety in general, but I'd fight through it. There are ways to manage, anxiety. There are tips and tricks that I pass along to my coaching clients. In particular, I'm working with a young woman at the moment who is here to audition for 2.5 months, but they are from another country. And so she's not used to the in-person audition experience in New York City. And so I have shared with her tips and tricks that have helped me deal with anxiety in the room. One of them is just grounding. For example, like if there's a piano, if it's a musical audition, there's going to be a piano. Just touching the piano can be a way to just say, that's an object that's right there. And it's not something you take a lot of time with, but there are tips and tricks just to ground yourself in the room so that your mind isn't going, oh my God, I need to impress these people. And am I going to remember all of my material? And what's going to happen now? Like another thing that I've done is just walk into the room and go, how many windows are in the room? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. There are 5 windows in this room. Or what color is this floor? If it's a wood floor, is it a bleached blonde wood? Is it a dark wood? Is it an orange wood? Just those little things that can help you go, I am in this room right now. My feet are on the ground. Those are some ways that I have used to deal with anxiety in the room. Great. Good job. I can't even say that. Okay. I have not seen the Odyssey. I am very excited to get to the movie theater this week. I want to go and see Hadestown in the movie theater. This is out at the moment. There's a live capture of Hadestown, and I think that's going to be first on my list when I get into the movie theater. But Odyssey is also on the list. In fact, I wrote a list yesterday. Literally on my whiteboard up there. That is a list of movies that I wrote yesterday, and Odyssey is on the list. I still haven't seen, there are a couple of these that I'm going to be able to watch on streaming. Project Hail Mary, Mandalorian and Grogu, Disclosure Day, Hadestown, and The Odyssey. So yeah, I've got a little movie list going, so I haven't seen it yet. Joy is here to spread wisdom. Get it. Joy, what is one experience you wish you could have at least once in your life? On my bucket list, Medjadedba, One experience that I'm looking forward to is seeing the Northern Lights. I really want to go to Scandinavia, to Finland or somewhere, and see the Northern Lights. Joy has decided that today I should treat myself to an ice cream. Did I treat myself to an ice cream yesterday? I love those. It's coffee ice cream that's wrapped in chocolate and has almonds on the outside. Oh, they're so good. Right? What's on your list, Mejadedba? But yeah, seeing the Northern Lights, that's on my bucket list. What's on yours? Let me know. I wonder if Ziggy is still here. Ziggy, let me know if you're, let me know. Oh, Ziggy's still here. Cool. So Ziggy, are you doing self-tapes? Is that what you're mainly doing in your acting career? Everyone, let's just make sure I'm not ignoring any comments over on, where is it? YouTube. Willie Billy wants to know what movies I've been in. It's making me laugh because a movie I was in, I saw one of my colleagues from that movie at this audition that I was at yesterday. And that movie, it was a very strange experience. So I've been in two movies, neither of which you've heard of. One was called Miles, and it starred Paul Reiser and Molly Shannon, and it was didn't do very well, and I'm only in one scene, but I did that. And the other movie that I did with this colleague that I saw at the audition yesterday was called Easter Mysteries, and it's a rather strange musical about the Passion of Christ. And I played Thomas, one of the disciples, and doubting Thomas. And it's a rather strange movie, but it does get aired on television every Easter. I get a text message from somebody saying, I just turned the television on and you're on it. What am I watching? So those are the movies that I have been in. You can check me out on IMDb, Benjamin Howes, The Working Actor NYC. Ziggy, yes, I've mainly had self-tapes auditions for commercials. Okay, tell me your commercial tips. I find auditioning for commercials a bit strange because they always want improv. They always want two takes and just play with the material sort of things. And it's very different than scripted dramas or scripted comedies. So I have a commercial agent, but that commercial realm also covers industrials. So I tend to book industrials where I play the doctor or the businessman. I booked those through my commercial agent, but the work that I book for commercials tends to be mostly, so I'm Australian. I'm originally from Australia, and my family is all originally from England. So I have very good facility with British accents and Australian accents, and those are the accents that I tend to get called in for commercials a lot. Medjed, African jungles. Oh, I love it. I've been to Africa. I haven't been to African jungles. I have been to jungles in Malaysia. I have been to jungles in Australia, where I'm from. So I've been to jungles in other places, but not in Africa. I agree that would be kind of took a break because I'm pregnant. I'm definitely ready to get back into it. I love that. Yeah. Although I will say there are plenty of well, I mean, you need to take care of yourself and make sure that you're taking care of your baby. But there's definitely room for pregnant people in commercials as well. What is the memory that makes you smile every time you remember it? I'm thinking about my dog. Are there any job vacancies in your area? Don't know. Commercial auditions seem much harder than TV and film. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who is on a journey with that. It just seems like it's a specific set. And what I also notice about commercials is that the people who are fantastic at them book them all the time. Like you see the same people in commercials over and over. So I feel as though there are skills there, or maybe it's just an essence, a kind of a person. And I'm sort of totally fascinated by that. Let me know if you've noticed that as well. All right, friends, what is on my agenda today? Tonight I'm going to a panel organized by the SAG-AFTRA Foundation. That's the Film and TV union for actors, film, television, and radio. And they are organizing a panel today of Emmy-nominated casting directors who are talking about casting for TV. So I am going to go to that panel tonight. I will report back right here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So come on back for that. I will let you know what these different casting directors are going to be talking about. In fact, let me look up quickly. Let's see if it can tell me. Work faster. It's not giving me the specific one. Program calendar, the business casting for TV, an evening with 2026. The business casting for TV, it's this one. Let's see. Oh, the casting directors. These are 3 amazing casting directors. This is going to be exciting. Destiny Lilly, Julie Schubert, and Julie Tucker. These are all really good casting directors. In fact, Destiny Lilly is the president of the Casting Society of America, CSA, who does Only Murders in the Building, casting director for Only Murders in the Building. Julie Schubert is a casting director I'm really interested in getting to know, because she casts a TV show called The Diplomat. Please tell me you've watched that, because it's a really good one. And Julie Tucker is somebody I've had an eye on as well. The Beast in Me is the casting TV show. So I'll be back here tomorrow at 8 a.m. reporting on that. What is your opinion on the Argentina versus Egypt match? Always a soccer question, everyday soccer questions, which is fascinating to me. From what I understand, that referee was not fair, and a lot of people are blaming the Egyptian manager for not calling that out in real time. So that's what I know about that match. Hi, friends. All right, I will be right back here at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning with a report on this panel that I'm going to tonight with casting directors Destiny Lilly, Julie Schubert, and Julie Tucker. So come on back for that at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. If you want to check out more about the Working Actor NYC, go to the workingactornyc.com, where you can get your merch, workingactornyc.com merch. And I will see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Wherever you are in your acting career, you got this. Keep going. I'll see you at 8 a.m., my friends. All righty. Thanks for being here, friends. And I will be back here at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'll see you then.